I swear my stomach's just growling and growling. And I think it's the parasites. I think in the morning they're very vicious. Like, just feed me, feed me. And I don't know. It just is, it's weird. And what was I about to say? Something with the, oh yeah, because the ones in my nose, man, I swear to God. And there is some people who are actually trying to go to the doctor and talk about these little, like they've even seen, this one girl was talking about, it looks like these little bugs on you. And she keeps going to the doctor because they're putting microscopic parasites on us. They're doing it on purpose. And then, it's raining down on us. We're drinking them. Like, I don't even know all the ways that they're getting them in us. But, like this morning, oh my God, I've been sneezing and coughing. It's madness. There is no reason. I'm not sick. I'm not around any sick people. And this constantly coughing and sneezing and the sneeze attacks, it's mental. And then I'll feel them. I'll start going around. And, it's just too weird. And I'm even thinking about doing a turpentine one again, but how do you kill nanos? Like, how do you get them out? Like, get a magnet? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, they're just filling us up. They're trying to turn us into some sort of controllable energy that's their whole thing, And there's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to say today, and there's some stuff that I want to say that's going to be very like tiptoe, because I really am not trying to hurt anybody's feelings at all. But I see people just do the most toxic things, like, and they think that they don't realize that they're being toxic. Like, there has to be such a shift in how people understand things. It's like, and it is, it's hard to be able to see so much that people don't see yet. I mean, I think they're going to. Otherwise, like this, there's no shit, hell. Like, no, I'm in it. Like, stand there. It is like, you have the solution, but everybody around you can't see you and won't listen to you, and then just keeps like slamming their head into the wall trying to find it or something. And it isn't like I just see myself as being like the only one with all the solutions or something, but it's like I have an understanding of things that people seem to be searching for. Whether or not they think my understanding is legit, like, that's up to your discernment. Like, I know, I have an understanding of what the universe is. I have an understanding of what I am, who I am, what I'm doing here, the whole thing. And it is beyond what other people understand about it, so... I'm not going to push I can't even if I wanted to, I can't. Like, I'm so censored. It's stupid. Like, the past couple of TikTok morning things, it's like 4 or 5 notifications, I mean, usually when somebody has like almost 30,000, and besides how much they've restricted that, and I've seen them remove, because on TikTok, each video has a number, and that number is how many views. I mean, mine, what is also mental is I can put one on and immediately it will just start going really fast. They'll stop it. And every time it will stop like at 200, but then they'll flip it back. I've seen them flip 700 back to 200. So I don't know what all the hell they do. But, I just know censorship is real. I know it's the same on this platform. Like, I don't know what all they fucking do. But they're doing stuff to make sure that I don't get hurt. It's out of my hands. And so, and I know that is all up to the universe when they want things out there. I mean, it's hard when they, put so much pressure on you to keep saying things, and then you just sit in a dark closet saying it. Sometimes it feels like I'm just sitting there talking to myself. Sometimes I feel absurd. Like, I feel so absurd sitting here saying stuff like, and nobody hears me, and I'm just like, just keep on talking like I'm talking to somebody. That's what they want me to do, so that's what I'll keep doing. But I just think, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of people who understand things. And I'm not saying that people who appear to not understand really don't. I think that they just have forgotten. And I think that there's a bunch of us here who are here to help remind people, that we can be comfortable being called crazy. Well, I've been called crazy for so long at this point. Like, it was just a blessing in 2020 when all of a sudden I realized, oh, everything's upside down. I'm not crazy. They are. I was like, oh, thank you. Because that was, it was never that I thought I was crazy. It was just like, I was just so different. Like how I could be so different than other people. And it's just so crazy because I know, like, I'm very judged, and I know what's going to happen with that judgment. I don't mean it in a cruel way. Like, I'm hoping, that people have to feel the pain that they've put out, but I just know it's going to happen. So, people who have, judged me and saw me as crazy and went and said it and stuff, I think some of them are going to look kind of foolish, as like how I'm seeing it. But anyways, there was a lot of other stuff I wanted to talk about. One of the things is, like, fuck, dude, I can't believe how many horrendous animal things. And it's a part of the purging. It's a part of the understanding. Yesterday I went out, side for a second. Oh, which this morning, get up and, first I thought I heard like the snow crunching. I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I paused the TV thing, and then I was like, okay, that's just the heater coming on. And so then I went to go let Stella out, but no, it was snowing, and she ran out to eat it. Oh, God damn. I swear that I could handle the fake snow more if she would stop eating it. Like, I can handle just being like, okay, there's fake snow. I'm not going to go outside. I'm not going to get poisoned. But how do you keep a dog from going outside? And I don't know what the hell they put in it. But I'm sure, she's not the only one. I've seen so many wildlife crazy stories at people's houses. Like, wildlife is going up to people, like, trying to get help. It's, trying to, just like how when there was no way for the birds and squirrels to eat when there was the big snowstorm, and they started hitting into my window asking me to feed them. Like, they're trying to communicate. They're coming up to people, and a lot of people are so scared that they don't want to help them. It just is heartbreaking. But I just saw this one, and this lady, this couple just bought this house way out. And this is the second one I've seen this week that they said that they just closed and got this property way out. I don't know how, I don't know how some of this stuff is going on. It would have to be, independent. It is each person's own destiny, Like, I know for sure if I started trying to sell this place, there would be something that would go down, and I would lose the house, and then I would be, by the time that the money went, that it would be, there would be no money. And then, and I've seen other people, like, there's problems when they go to try and close. So to me, this is like a shifty kind of time to be trying to make big changes. So to me, it's like, man, and I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff that just seems like this is a dangerous time to be, especially just be out with nothing. But this one person who just bought this one, like, one of the people, they're in a battle now with the fence lines. And how many people who lived rural, like, these people just moved in, and whoever sold them the place had a certain relationship with each person on each side of them, and they didn't bother with boundaries. Like, this guy over here, he could keep all his farm equipment on this guy's property, and they didn't care. Well, so these people move in and shake things up and want their property to be their property, and these people on either side is like, hey, wait a minute, messing around here. So there's got a whole drama going on with that person, and it's a big old fucking thing with them. And so they keep documenting it. This other person who just moved out to this rural place, these people left their 10-year-old dog tied to a tree. Just up and left, moved out, and left their dog there. And these people had no idea this dog was going to be here. And now they found a cat, too, that has been hiding. And the dog, oh my gosh, the dog has got the most human eyes. I can't even believe you could feel this dog's emotion. It is, man, just picturing her eyes is just melt your heart. I think she's some sort of a pit or a pit mix or something. And she's just the cutest, prettiest dog. And just so sweet and so playful. And they had seen, there was a thunderstorm and it ran and hid, and it was so scared, and I can't get those eyes out of my head. And the heartbreaking thing was that there was storms when they had left it tied out there. And it's gonna make me so sad because the dog was so scared. Like, people have no compassion. Like, fuck, dude, that is a fucking soul. And yesterday sometime, because I was going outside, and Stella always wants to go out and do stuff, so I'm gonna take her for a walk, go get some wood and stuff like that. But there was a big blob of blood on my steps, and I was like, what the hell? So I started trying to see, and since she's light, you could see if she was bleeding, and I couldn't see any blood on her. And then I saw like a little scrape across the porch part, like somebody dragging a dead body or something. I was like, I don't know, one of the cats came and got a mouse. Like, Stella's always chasing these cats off, but they know that there's a lot of little animals around here eating, because I think that's why they keep coming in here, is to try and get the birds and the squirrels or mice or whatever. I found another little dead mouse carcass out back, and poor mice, they're on the bottom of the food chain, like, for sure. But it was just like if somebody had just taken the skin off and left the skin out there to dry. It's little tiny mouse hide that I have out there that has been drying. I just have to respect. Like, I have this other, I had found a couple furs when I had gone to the bins, the thrift bins. It's just like where they just dump everything in these bins, and you go dig around in it. And I found a couple of furs, and they're just like thrown out. It's like these animals were killed because somebody thought they were beautiful and wanted to go and show off how much money they had or something. And I don't know, I just found it heartbreaking to just discard these animals, like, oh, well, now we don't believe in that, and so just throw them all away. It's like so disrespectful. So anyways, I have hung them up at my house, because I think, you fucking killed it. So it could look pretty. I'm not going to just throw it in the garbage now because, I'm ashamed of my own desires or something. Like, I don't know. There's just something so distorted about it, how people are just so consume. As soon as they feel judged, and hide from themselves, and I don't know. Anyways, I don't even know if I'm making sense about that. But one thing I do want to make sense about, I really, really don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but there is such toxic behaviors going on as people think they're doing things to heal. And, and like I said, this healing process for a lot of people is super clumsy because they're following the agenda, the narrative. You want to heal through Western medicine. There's a certain way, and it's all about division. It's all about judgment. It's all about, isolation more. And so, to me, it's a very toxic way to heal. And I'm going to keep pushing for spiritual healing. And spiritual healing is, for me, and I have strong guidance, and so that hasn't been an issue for me. But it is to just do what your guides tell you to do. Listen to your guides. Like, talk to your guides. Process what they make, because they'll make things highlighted. They'll show you things. But it's easy because it's subtle. It's like whispers. So it's easy to just be like, oh no, I'm not gonna think about that. I don't have time for that. I'm gonna go get a beer. I'm gonna go to happy hour. People are just looking for a way out so that they don't have to think about something that bothers them. Most people don't want to think about stuff that bothers them, and they don't realize how important it is that you do. So they find ways to distract themselves. They act like they're above. I don't feel. I don't have to feel things. I've cut myself off from my feelings so that I can just go out into the world and be a machine. That's what they want you to do. But so the people who have done that have kind of boxed themselves in. They've cut themselves off from their feelings, and they're being controlled through their mind. So anyways, the whole thing is so the person who is off of the social media, who's supposed to come the other day, and they didn't come. There was a problem. And then they said that, okay, the next day I want to come. And so then the next day there was a problem. And so I was just like, I just go with the flow. I'm not that worried about it. And so then I think a couple days or a day or something later, then they said that they wanted to come this weekend. And they keep saying that they're having money issues for getting gas, which I completely relate. I've used all my money. I'm sitting out here with an empty tank. And, but I'm not stressed out about Friday. I'll get paid. And if things haven't gone down, which, this is Sunday. So it is, we'll see. I hope. There certainly is a lot of stuff. I saw this one lady who says she's a prepper, because you got to think about all these people have their groups. And so the prepper group has survivalists, soldiers, and stuff like that. And so she was saying in her group, what she's hearing from the military people is that be prepared. There's about to be an EMP. And so, and then on the other side of it, we have a lot going on. Africa is standing up to us. China, Russia, all of them are standing up to us now and pointing out that we're the problem. And so, that's the part that people have to wake up to and see. And it's not us, it's our government. And our government is owned. They're not run by us, they're supposed to be, but they're owned by, a corporation. And so they do what they're told to do. They're a bunch of puppets, and they get a payoff for being a puppet. But they've sold their soul. Like nothing. It doesn't matter how much fucking $100 ice cream you're gonna still feel like shit. So, because it is a real thing. When you sell yourself out, it hurts, and you can't hide from it. And so, no matter what you do to try and mask it or pretend, you'll just get darker and more decrepit. They decrepit themselves, and then they think like, I'll just drink a little blood and that'll fix it up. They're just so dysfunctional. But anyways, so on that whole thing though is definitely leading up to this threat that we have been told is going to be a part of it, because that goes together with the all of that stuff goes together, so that we get into this thing supposedly this evening where things come to a head and everything has to go off and we have to be shut down into our homes. And a part of that is because of the chaos that's going to happen when the money goes down. And they're trying to keep us restrained from the chaos, because there will be so much unnecessary, because people just don't understand. And so they got to have the understanding so that they'll play play the tape, Sam, and they'll play these tapes that go and go and go. And so to get people to understand. And it's so crazy too, because when people are in a certain frame of mind, there is no understanding. So there'll be people who still won't be able to wrap their heads around it, and they're so on edge they won't be able to process or take a minute, and calm themselves. They're going to just be pumped. I mean, there's so many people who think Nisargasara is a bad thing. They're convinced it's a bad thing. It's a psyop. It's this. It's that. It's like, you should have been following along, because if you were following along since, for me, when I first started hearing about it was 2020, and following along and learning about it and learning about what's going on and paying attention, like it's a whole thing. It's not something you can just step into, especially if you're all scared of every government thing at this point, and you can't see that there is two sides. So anyways, that's for each person to figure out. I can't stress out about each person at this point. Like, everybody's on their own shit, like their own journey. Like, wake up and see the truth, or sit in the dark and be scared. Like, I don't know what to tell you. When I said that, it just made me think about, like, all these motherfuckers in my hall. God damn, I swear to God. And some of them are, like, a little creepy. Like, God, there's a lot. Again, last night I was, like, screaming from my soul to get the fuck out. God damn. And it's like, I don't care if you're not here trying to do something. This is, like, a lot. Like, it is too much at this point. Every time I walk down the hall that I'm getting jolted at, And I saw yesterday where these people were talking about clean up everything, get things off your walls and stuff. They hide. They absorb themselves in the walls and watch you and hide. It's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. And then you walk up close to them and they jolt out at you. It's like, God damn, leave me alone. And I don't know what it, I don't know. And you hear all these people say we got all this dark energy that's trying to stop things. And, like, I don't feel in danger, but it's just irritating. And it does get spooky to just keep seeing weird, creepy things coming out of the door, running around and shit. It's like, fuck off with this shit, man. But it's super dark down there, and I'm sure they're just all sitting there just watching away. Down there watching away, creeping around, looking around the corner. And it's been so quiet. I don't know what the hell was in my bathroom yesterday, but I have not heard another peep. And it seriously it sounded like it fell. Like, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna start smelling something. I don't even know how far could it fall. Like, I don't know. I just, everything is just so weird. But anyways, back to the story, because so she was gonna come over and then couldn't. And so, I haven't been that familiar with her content. I just saw that she had a social media presence, and so I knew she was a real person. And I have a lot of people on TikTok DM me and talk to me, and in the comments and stuff ask me questions, because I bring something different to the table than what they see with a lot of other content creators, especially in the spiritual realm. Like, oh my God, damn. Again. Oh my gosh. I swear to God, I have got so much, for one thing, I've got so much liberal people on my thing. And I think it's so that they want me to see, their attitude, what's going on with them. So I have tons of them, but I also have tons of, what was I about to say? Anyway, I don't know what I was about. It was something else. But my FYP, my algorithm is changed on TikTok. And so some of the stuff that I'm seeing is different. And one of the things is some of the stuff with the liberal people. And, man, a lot of them just really think the conservatives are out to get them. It's like, that's not the case. And seeing these younger people, like these, I don't know which gen it is, I don't even know in which order. I think it was boomers, which they're the huge problem. Just go in and ask anyone young. And most boomers only have a few years left. Like, they're going to be gone soon, you guys, and we'll have this planet we'll be able to get it back to normal. Because those fucking boomers, they're such a fucking nightmare. But you got no problem with division, dude. You got no problem with judgment. You got no problem. No, you guys are doing great. Doing great. So, the, boomer generation is the nightmare of all generations. And then we have, I think it's Gen X. And then I think it's millennials. And then I think it's Gen Z. And then I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if I'm missing some, and I don't even know if there's more after that. And, but people love these subcategories. Oh, please put me in a label. And so the Gen Zs are here to change the world. They're going to change the world. They're fucking doing it. There was these two young boys, not young boys. I mean, to me, they look like little boys, but young men. And they, were talking about they were going to make the change. It's these two guys. They're going to do it. In the comments and stuff is all this. Y'all are going to be president and vice president and stuff. And but their whole platform is anti-conservatives, push the program or the narrative, the progressive narrative, progressive agenda. Push that further, and fuck these conservatives. Like, we got to get rid of these. So the boomers, the conservatives, get rid of them. Then the absurdity, what we have is, like, because of this thing, and this certain community is, oh, poor them. Like, one of them went in and killed these, but who cares if they're Christian? Who cares about that? But, oh my gosh, just another thing that these poor people have to try and get over. Really? So, how many conversations have we had about that? Like, how many times have we had these shooters go into these places, and then we sit there and, oh, these poor old white guys, like, gosh dang it. It's been hard on them. People are mean to them now. Like, they're upset. This is what the stuff that has come to the surface. So, you're in a certain community that you go like, hey, wait a minute. Like, they just killed somebody. Like, they just went in and did it. Like, why are we feeling sorry for them? Like, isn't it that backwards? Like, what we should be doing? Isn't that backwards what we normally do? But people have to see it for themselves. They have to, start recognizing, because they love division. They love labels. They love being told that they're on the right side, even when they're on the wrong side. They don't stop and pay attention. As long as someone's telling them, they don't realize that it is your ego that is being used. As long as they tell you something that makes you feel good, you're all on board. You don't have to question things. You don't have to think for yourself. Just, have these artificial people sit and pet you and tell you you're doing great. And you'll believe it. And so I've seen a lot of the, I don't know, it's just such a distortion that, so much distortion. But, so anyways, back to this other situation. So she said she was going to come and some of her videos started popping up on my thing, because before they weren't popping up. And it must have been because I had said something about Trump. And this was, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, I think. I've said stuff about him all the time. I mean, anybody who really has listened to my channel would understand that I am supportive of that side. And, I mean, there's the whole thing. I think I've been honest about the whole thing. And so, I kind of get surprised when somebody comes and says, like, I just said something. Like this other time when this person got so mad at me, who had been messaging me, in emails and stuff like that. And they got so mad at me because I said, demons aren't real. Like, you make the demon real. You give it the energy. It's you who creates the demon. And they got so mad, said I wasn't spiritual and stuff like that. I'm fake and all this stuff. And I was like, I've been saying this the whole time. Like, what are you talking about? You just heard me? Have you been listening to what I've been saying? And that's how I feel too about the Trump thing. Like, if you're going to come in and start saying something about that, it's like, I've been saying this the whole time. So you're not listening to me or whatever, which, that's fine. But some of the stuff I've been saying the whole time, there's nothing new here. So anyway, she came in and started being very confused, because how could somebody who is so spiritual, who is talking about all these things, support this guy? And so I explained it to her and told her, about my awakening and seeing. And she said that really helped her. All of a sudden, she could see things that she couldn't see before. And so she felt really good about that. And, and she felt happy, like, that I had helped her. And that same thing had happened to me. I think it happens to a lot of people, where there's somebody you think, is like a certain way, and then they support this other side, and it boggles the mind, where it's like, okay, explain this to me, because it's weird. And so I had that same thing happen to me, where it was somebody who the forager, the shaman lady, and when she was supportive of him, and it was just like, okay, wait a minute, this is so weird. And so, it's so that you start seeing, like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's me who's missing something. But anyways, so, that helped her, or whatever she said. And so then, I had seen some of her videos. So because it was a video response to me, because I didn't know who the person was when they started messaging me, and so then I went and looked, and they did a video to me. And so I saw who they were. So anyways, some of their videos have been popping up in my thing, and I hadn't seen it before. So I didn't really know their content. And I still can't say that I do, because I feel like they're going through something. And I just feel like this is where people are being misled about healing. And it's super frustrating to me. It's hard to watch, because it is people who think they're standing up for themselves are really just turning into the bully themselves. And that is kind of like what this Western medicine psychological healing does. Like I said, like, I've got one daughter who, hadn't spoken to me, since I said all lives matter. Like, how dare you? How dare you say that? Everyone doesn't matter. It's just these people. Just those people over there. They're the only ones who matter. It's like, okay. So anyways, that's been, a few years, since 2020. And so the people who, so anyways, this one, so I don't know, it seems that she had some sort of addiction problem. There's a lot of toxic relationship with her mom. That became crystal clear real quick in these videos that she was doing. And it was like, but she doesn't see that while she's doing these videos, like, so many people don't see themselves. They can just see the other person. They don't see what they're doing. And this is what I'm saying, is like, the world, the universe is about to show you yourself. And it isn't so for you to be more down or feel worse about yourself. It's so you can see clearly your dysfunction, your toxic stuff, so that you can heal you and let go of this shit. And so yesterday she was doing these videos, and I don't know if she's even going to message me to come, because I don't know, I guess she was living with her mom for the past 8 years. She had some sort of addiction problem. So there's already a lot of tension between her and her mom. Because I can hear things that people can't hear. I get like things, I can see things that people can't see or something. And so, you know, she's doing like a hidden camera on her mom, and then trying to get her mom to show her true colors. But it's like you're trying to provoke a conversation. You're trying to provoke an argument, and it's so clear what you're doing. So it's not natural. You're trying to show that you're the victim and this person's evil. And if that's how you feel, if you truly feel this person is evil, then why are you there? And why have you been there 8 years? And she even tried to flip it on her and make it the mom had forced her to be there. If somebody's abusing you, nobody can force you. You stay until you're ready to go. You stay until you learn your value. And so, you know, when people come into our lives for all different reasons, and there is definitely people who come in to push the boundaries so hard for you to find your own and your own protection and stuff. And you got to remember that these, I know this is so stopped up, I swear to God. This is so fucking ridiculous. And there's just like snot going down my throat. And so she is got, so if she is, you know, feels that she has to stay here, so then it builds resentment. She thinks her mom's broke. She has to be there. But she also has her own, I don't know if it's alcohol or drugs. She has some sort of addiction problem. Was on a lot of meds. I mean, a typical thing. Like, there's so many people that are on a lot of meds that interfere with your, interfere with all parts of your physiological self. And then a lot of people have addiction problems. All types of addiction. There's food addictions, there's shopping addictions, gambling addiction. Everybody's got some kind of problem. Like, it's not just one person in the world who's got these issues. No, this is the way our world has developed. And so it is that we have to witness and see so that we can change it. And so she's trying to get her mom on this camera thing showing, you know, that she's a bitch or whatever. And when you're hearing the mom just keeps saying, you know, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk. You talk too crazy. I don't care. I don't want to go in these conversations with you. And I have been in the house with a daughter who was, saw me as the problem. Saw me, I mean, she's still, even when we were just visiting, she'll still bring it up. You know, like I was so irritated with her all the time. I couldn't stand, so I was always saying rude shit to her or something. Like, I don't see it like that at all. I didn't see it. We see things very, very different. You know, I saw it as this angry girl sitting in the room being mad. And every time that she would talk to me, it would be defensive. That every single word that comes out of my mouth was a disappointment. I mean, this has been a person I've been, you know, from the time she was a kid, who has not liked me as a mom. She's told me, you know, that she doesn't like you. I'm not the mom that she would choose. And it's like, sorry, but you did. And also, you know, it's something for her to realize. It's not I'm doing something wrong. It's you haven't been able to accept me. You know, it's just, this is who I am. I can't change into somebody different. This is who I am. And you just have to accept me. And, you know, that is difficult. Especially when the person, if they see you as like, that you don't accept them. You don't care about them and stuff. And you can tell by what this person was saying that they feel that way. They feel like their mom doesn't care about them. It seems like there's so many of these different people too that I've talked to who the moms have addiction problems or mental illness problems themselves. So they've already got issues. And man, I can just see this so clearly, even with my mom, because I went through so much resentment towards my mom, all the stuff I went through as a kid. And all it was always was something's wrong with Kelly. Something's wrong with Kelly. It's that damn abortion pill. Something's wrong with Kelly. She's a weirdo. she's different. But then there would be other things, though, that they would think were good about me. But there was just a thing where, I don't know, there's just something that you take away as a child when everything keeps being your fault, and nobody sees that there's anything else, especially like when you have this abusive alcoholic man who lives in the house, but yet you still keep thinking it's, the little girl has got a problem. It's not him, it's her. It's like, and it took, I don't know, my mom had a psychiatrist told her, do you think it could be that the dad's doing something to the daughter? And my mom was just like, no. It's like, she was very comfortable thinking something was wrong with me. That we didn't really have any relationship that I remember growing up, other than her like slapping me in the face and always looking down on me and stuff. There was a certain point where I was determined I'm going to make her build a relationship with my mom. Whether she hates me or not, it's going to be forced upon her. And I did start just really pushing myself on her. But that was more like when I became like 16 or 17, and then everything was already up and it had gone to such chaos. I mean, she had left my dad for this young other alcoholic, and he was friends with all these other young guys who wanted to go out with me. And then and I was only 16, remember. And then my dad, who got together with his girlfriend, who he had been having an affair with for years and years and years, who was another major alcoholic. And I mean, everything became very, very chaotic. So there wasn't really any fixing any relationships at that point. It just went on of me feeling like rejected and, not cared about, like more of a burden. Like my mom was a teenager, she got pregnant with me. And so, I don't know, it was just something that I just always felt like the problem child in their eyes or something. And I just, I was very into psychology and self-help and stuff like that. And I mean, I was reading books about the elephant in the room and alcoholism and stuff when I was a teenager. And so I was seeing things differently than what the other people saw things. And so then, but it was years and years where my mom and I had this, it was just like a strange relationship. I don't know. Like they'd come over for Thanksgiving and I'd be like, okay, well, we're going to eat like at 2 and everything will be ready. So try and get here. If you're bringing the snacks or whatever, try and get here like at 12 or whatever. And then she'd show up at 4 and then be like, but there would never be stuff where I could really say anything. If you ever said anything, well, you're late, she'd go into a, how dare you? How dare you? And so when I was younger, then, it just got me more in my shell. Like, I'm not going to sit there. I get sick of being yelled at. I'm with a husband who yells at me every time I fucking do something. And then my mom, how dare I say, well, I said to be here at 2. Everything's, kind of wrecked now. And we're not going to eat snacks. And it would just always be this, like, I don't know, her attitude came across to me of just like, well, too fucking bad. And so then I don't know, there was just a lot of not seeing things eye to eye. And my stepdad, when he was still around, he had said the whole reason they had even moved by me was because my mom had felt so guilty how she treated me as a child that she wanted to move over there and fix the relationship. But that was never a thing that she was really, because it became just her and her golden child was the whole thing. I mean, to the point where the husband was ran off and stuff. So it wasn't, she didn't come there to fix things with me. She didn't really have time for me. So anyways, there was just more and more of this, just like, okay, you're my mom and we get together on holidays kind of thing. Something going up. I don't know if it's a little tiny spider or what. So then, but you get these distances, like you don't understand them and they don't understand you. But then once it got to be 2020, I think it was because 2015 is really when so much had started changing for me. But at some point, she had said something. It was around then. She had said something about when I would come over, especially when I was a nurse. I think I was came across real uppity, real I have one daughter who everybody always thinks she's so bougie or whatever. I think I came across I think I'm better than you or something. And you think about from the perspective of a mom who didn't ever graduate high school, had a kid when they were a teenager, and then the kid, grows up and out educates them, buys, I had all the things, I was traveling, I had this, a productive lifestyle, what you would think, is the American dream, and I was living it. But I had relationship after I was, I had a lot of problems. So that's all anybody would really see is, oh, well, Kelly's getting married again or something. And, but when she had said something about that I was always looking down on her and I'd made her cry a bunch of times of, just the way I would look at her plate, because she's kind of a hoarder and kind of messy and stuff, and so I was snotty. She'd put up these fences that were kind of leaning over or something, and she's out there working hard on her stuff, creating her own world, and and I'm coming over well, that's not good enough, well, that's not good enough, and I didn't know I was coming across that way, but that's perspective. That's her perspective, what she was feeling from me. And I can't deny that. I'm sure there was some aspect of myself that was judgy, that was looking, and she probably could read exactly what was coming out of my eyes when I would look at the fence falling over and then another one in front of, just stuff that you do when you don't have a lot of money and you're just trying to fix things. She had a lot of that. And so I all of a sudden I saw her as not my monster, but I saw her as somebody I was hurting. So it was, it was just a different way. All of a sudden I saw oh, I'm the bad guy to her. I'm testing her. I'm making her have to see herself. And, either you understand what I'm saying or you don't. And, at some point I think it will make more sense but an older my kids have pushed me into seeing myself with clarity. Everybody gets pushed by the next. People are there to push you into seeing yourself. And so I I could see myself, and I could see God, I was kind of snot and judgy and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just, through 2020, it started being more healing, I started saying more things about me as a person. And we just had a lot of good conversations, but it wasn't we're going to sit and fix this. We're going to heal. No, I just started putting myself out there more and started seeing her not as just this person who is there to shame or judge me, but she just didn't really know me, and I didn't really know her. And there had been a wall between us that was built off of pain, of hurting one another's feelings. And so, and I am a person who is going to push somebody into, and not on purpose, it's just like it's the role that I came in, is going to push you into seeing yourself. And it's just been something that happens all the time, and it's hard sometimes to see yourself. And so, people like me, then we can seem like we're the problem. But really, it's just the fact that people don't want to see themselves, and so they won't look. But so in this one where this girl is trying to get her mom on film, being her evil self, and her mom's not that much older than me. And but I just kept hearing the frustration in her mom's voice, that her mom really feels victimized by this girl, and this girl just pushes and pushes and pushes and keeps trying to be like, but you're a rotten son of a bitch, you're horrible, you're evil, you made my life hell, and it's like, how long can you push somebody to, in the person who feels that they're the victim don't realize, like, you're the bully, you're the abuser at this point, you're abusing this person. And the sad thing is this person, I could hear it in her voice over and over and over. Every time the mother spoke, I could hear her own pain, her own being pushed by other people, her own not being able to find her own self. Like, man, it's fuck. It was like so, oh my God, it was rough. When I was like, oh my gosh, so you've got this abused person who feels justified, and they're standing up to their abuser. They are taking a stand. They're leaving this house. They've left this house now. They are no longer going to live there. They are going to move out to the desert. There's some of this stuff, like, this isn't the time, I don't think, like, to just be out in the world with no shelter. Like, I've said that a bunch of times. That, even with the tornadoes that just happened, they said that was the dangerous thing. People who have no shelter, like even people who live in a car, the cars were picked up and thrown. So this is a time when you gotta, safety first for the survivors, and so I don't know, when somebody's saying, I'm going to leave this place and go, and then she was also, I think, trying to tell her mom that her mom was in danger, because she's like right on the coast, right outside of Seattle. And so she's in Tacoma. So yeah, shit goes down to the coastline, then yeah, it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be, go down with the ship. And so she was just saying a bunch of rude stuff, but every time her mom just kept being like, will you just leave me alone? Will you just stop? I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk. And she'd be like, yeah, but what? She just would not stop. It was relentless. It's like, fuck, I've been with an abusive husband. It's fucking horrible when somebody just won't stop. Just keeps pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, Look, I've been locked in my bedroom, sitting on the bed for hours with someone screaming in my face, punching the wall above my head. I said the wrong thing or didn't say it the right, whatever. And so, that to me is like, you're abusing this person. This person has said, please stop, please leave me alone. And you just are going all in. And then on top of it, trying to get them on film and humiliate them publicly. Like, how do you not see you're the abuser? You have switched roles. This person is feeling abused. This person has long history of abuse. This person has not learned how to stand up for themselves. This person has had an alcoholic, abusive daughter living with them for 8 years, and also felt bound out of, she charged the daughter, and that seemed to really irritate the daughter. But to me, it is like everybody should be kind of, you should want to pay your way. You should want to not be someone here, take care of me, someone here, do this. Like I've had people be here who need to be, but to me, it's like they need to be taken care of because they're in such a bad way, and they don't know how to take care of themselves at this point. And so, but that wasn't what was going on. This was like a lot of years of toxic resentment and a lot of, debris in this stuff, and people not seeing themselves clearly. But the big thing is these people who think they're standing up for themselves have turned into the abuser. They've become what they think the other person is, and they don't see it yet. And so she thinks like her mom is the problem. But in all of the videos, it's like, it's not your mom, it's you. It's you. And you don't see it. And it's so crazy because I've been saying this for so long of how people don't see themselves. They're doing these things, but they don't see it. They don't understand. They're not seeing themselves clearly. Even though they're showing themselves, they're not seeing themselves. And, about 100%, this, I saw the little woman on film a couple times. She looked, kind of like my one grandma that was the nurse, kind of small and skinny and, a hair that went up, some gray hair. And so anytime you see somebody who relates to somebody else in your mind, you always have more compassion anyways for that person. But my grandma, she came across as very hard and bitter and stuff like that. But people put on a front. They build walls to protect themselves. Some of the people who seem the most bitter and the most angry are living the most in pain. And so to turn around and attack somebody that are already feeling so victimized, they already are the victim in life. And now you are, this poor lady, she just, she didn't even have a daughter to have a relationship with. Like the daughter who's doing the video keeps just trying to bring up this whole 8 years of just being horrible, and she's stuck there because the mom needs her, and then she's like, I'm just going to stay here for free. And the mom said, no, you're not staying here for free. And she's like, yes, I am. It's like, dude, how do you not see that you're abusing this old lady? Maybe she was a shitty mom, but she didn't have anybody show her. Like, how much do you know about your mom? How much of these, like, there's so many of these boomers where people are, the boomers are the problem, which, I'm going to take offense to because now I'm labeled a boomer. But that, how many of these boomers, they just don't have any, they've never got to heal. They've never got to talk about what they've always been hiding from their past. They've always lived in shame. There's so many because things weren't talked about. And all these people who think they're so progressive, it's like, but you have no compassion. You have no empathy. You don't see things clearly. You don't see pain except for if it's your own. All you see is your own pain. Well, your own pain is going to blind you. If all you can see is your own pain and everything, then you are, you have to get over your pain. You have to release your pain. You have to let it go. And, and then in this case, maybe you're going to be the one who has to let it go and really get to your place, to a soft heart, to loving and compassion, so that when you are an interaction with this person, you can see their pain instead of seeing them as an enemy, and maybe give them, to talk to them and help them to release their pain, because no one's taught them. No one showed them how. And one thing is like, a lot of these younger people don't get, like, they get so angry at older people because older people have an expectation in life. Like, they don't realize, like, the life was very different. It wasn't how it is now. And the people who are, who they feel are judging them or whatever, that the people are, just a second, because I kind of got lost over what I was going to say about, because there was so many things coming in my head with the, because of the complaints and stuff I hear. These younger people are always like, boomers are so judgmental. They think you can still go out and buy a house. You're not working hard enough and stuff like that. Well, they don't know. They don't see, And if you weren't insecure, you wouldn't be bothered. Like, so what? You guys, you don't understand how life is different. And why would you get angry or argue with somebody over something like that? But a lot of people get really, really, even that young guy who was sitting there talking about how hard it is. Oh, it's so hard. And they've got 2 good jobs, and now they still have to live with her parents, and places are so expensive. And I just say a nice message like, well, everything's going to be changing. Everything's going to get better, And, how dare you, like, shut up. I don't care what you have to say. Is like, man, these people don't realize how hateful that they are and how judgmental, and that they think, they're being led to believe that we're the problem. As far as I'm concerned, the reason that they don't want younger people talking to older people is because the history, like, we actually have seen the things. They can't tell us something on TV because we actually lived it. And they don't want history. They want to distort history. They want to lie about it. They want to say what they want to say. I mean, pay attention to the movies now. Like, you got sundogs, you got chemtrail, you got all this shit in the movies. Like, they completely just change however it is that they want it to be. And you have so many people don't even know what a fucking cloud looks like. You spray anything up there and call it a cloud, and they're like, yeah, that's cloud, that's climate change. Oh, did any neighbors die? Goes, I'm hungry. These motherfuckers, the goddamn climate change is like, oh my God, this is mental. Yeah, and I'm seeing all these people who were like, oh man, we had 4 weather things in 2 days. We had snow, we had rain, we had sun, we had, I can't even remember all the different things. Like, it's just a whole fucking thing of all these different systems coming in, because it's all this manipulation. And so it has to be absurd. So people start being like, okay, wait a minute. Like, how could it do this? And I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of people on TikTok questioning, like, how can there be, these different weather things? We've never had this. But so many of these people, well, it's the climate change. It's the climate change. That's what the government told us. It's like, oh my Lord. But, as the conversations are going inside of the different comments, so people have to see. But so many people, when they question something, they don't go look it up for themselves. They're just like, no, that's not real. No, just go about their day. And, you have to go and look stuff up. You have to start questioning and seeing for yourself. And there was something else that came into my head. Oh yeah, because I get so bombarded some of these days with these tarot things, and when you go in and you read the comments, it is mind-blowing how many people are just like, I'm not shitting. Go in and read them. This is a new keyword that is in the spiritual community or something. Claim it. Claiming it. Claimed it. I'm claiming it. So these tarot things, when they come in and say, you've been doing the work, you you know, you started this social media, you know, and you've been putting it out there, and, you know, you got a lot of strong guidance. The guidance have been telling you exactly what to do and what to say. And you've been out there saying it and doing it, and you're going to be heard. You're going to be heard. Things are about to, and they'll start going through this whole thing. Okay. So when you go in and claim it, so did you start a social media? Like, are you just sitting back and just waiting for this magic to happen to you? Like, boggles the mind. Like, how do you just go in and keep claiming shit? What do you think? I don't understand these spiritual teachers out here. I don't understand what they're teaching people about manifesting and claiming it, and just so much stuff that it just seems like nonsense to me. Like, you can't just claim somebody else's stuff. Like, if a tarot person starts talking, and it isn't anything you're doing, like, you didn't start a social media, you didn't start using your throat chakra, you didn't start speaking out, you are still sitting back maybe with a user ID and a fake picture of a dog, or, you know, and you're still hiding, yet you are claiming this other thing. It's like, I don't know. Because for how many people claim these things, you'd think like I guess we're about to see like thousands of people who are, you know, hidden, who aren't being heard, you know, when they claimed it now. So I guess we'll see them all like coming out of the woodworks. I don't know. We'll see. But it is, to me, all I see is just so backwards in the healing. Turn into the monster, and that's what you call healing. You know, to abuse somebody else is called healing. To not see them as an injured soul, and to be there with compassion and love, and show by your role modeling how you can live better and feel better, instead to just sit there and constantly try and have these toxic arguments with somebody and think that it's just them, especially when you're the initiator. Like, how, I don't know. I don't know how, you know, I mean, to me, the people see themselves so, don't see themselves. And so when this thing happens, there is going to be, I don't know how, you know, I don't know if it's going to be like a slow process. Like, things will happen, and then slowly people will see how things will play out in their lives, in their relationships, and their responsibility to, if you want to have a good relationship with somebody, then play the part, you know. And being in a good relationship isn't pushing your beliefs, what you think, on somebody else. Like, you know, I mean, I get called crazy by my kids. I'm sure not going to, you know, go in a big fight. Like, now when they're like, oh my God. Even the other day when my granddaughter was like, you just are on TikTok all the time. You just, she even tried to say something snotty, like, you just post all the time or something like that. It's like, posting takes like a minute or two. It doesn't mean I'm on there all day long. And, you know, I'm talking to people. Like, they don't understand, because they're coming from this totally different perspective of going on social media, doing silly things, lip syncing, doing some silly dances, and going viral, and having everybody know you for your silly dances. I guess that's, you know, what they understand it to be. They don't understand it being used, how it's being used, of making contact and spreading the word, coming together, you know, creating unity, and, you know, creating community, bringing people in together. And so they don't understand that. And that, to me, I think is going to be very surprising to them. I think that they are already, I mean, I don't think that they can even wrap their head around 30,000, which, if it wasn't repressed, it'd be way, way more than that. because you can tell, like, when you say stuff, and I'm not gonna act like, I'm bragging because I say all this great stuff. It's not me. I'm just what is I can hear the word and I can see the word, but I can't get it to that part of is I'm just the one who's saying it. I just hear it and say it. So it's not, and they point it out, like, when I see things, I'm seeing things that other people aren't seeing. And so it's kind of like my duty to point out what people aren't seeing, because it is, it's another perspective. And so many people have similar perspective or controlled perspective. And so, people need to hear. And so many people come in my content or comments and say how much they appreciate hearing a different perspective. Like, I didn't think of that. I didn't never, And when people have a perspective that it doesn't blend in with the majority, then they keep it kind of hidden, and that is, I've talked about, through this time on here, I've talked about the going into your throat chakra and speaking your truth and all of that. It's part of the work in the system. And so, it's a part of the development of finding who you are. And maybe yours isn't to just speak out publicly, but to still speak out your own truth. And maybe it's just to your partner. And then there's so many crazy relationships right now with partners too, like as things are blowing up and people are in very toxic, dangerous relationships. And, and there's no help. I'm seeing where people, calling the police. There's no help. Like, you got to realize the police work for a corporation. They don't work for us. And that's all going to be exposed. I mean, there's a lot of policemen don't even know that. It's like, I feel like they need to go in and start reading their paychecks and see who's really signing it. Maybe do a little research into who's signing it, because they use titles and labels and stuff in a manipulative way. So, but in like in France and stuff, the cops have laid down their stuff, have joined the other side, because they got to see, like, we're really with you guys. We don't want to be corporate, it's murderers, basically. It's what they want them to do. Either they do what we tell them, or that's it. And so, cops in some places are joining the other side. And so things are going to go down. I think are going to get hairy here. I don't know. It's so hairy in so many places. There's so much stuff going on already. But I don't know. I think today could be the day that we would see. And, there's no telling what it's going to go. I saw this was really, really creepy to me. This woman and her husband live way, way out. She said they live out. There's no houses around them anywhere. They live way, way out, 15 minutes to even get to, because I live where it's 30 minutes to get to town. Like, there's little towns and stuff, but there's still lots of houses around me. There's I live in a neighborhood, and so it's rural, but it's still a neighborhood. And so hers was like, she lives out in the country more, where there's nobody or nothing, but it's 15 minutes to town. So, I don't know what state she's in, but so she said that, maybe she was in Iowa. It is Iowa, or I don't think it was Ohio, but anyways, so she had shown, and all these people that keep showing these things, their videos keep getting taken down, and they keep getting sent. So see, that's part of the awakening too. People who start to just show something, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, why can't I show this? And so she was showing these 2 or 3, I think 3. So if you took an 18-wheeler and you put one of those big things on the back of it, so 3 of those big things, and they're like lined up. They have 3 3 letter on the side. It starts with a C and ends with a C. And so she had showed that those that just showed up out in the middle of nowhere, just sitting out there parked. And she was like, this is really strange. Well, then it started getting taken down. Well, so now they've showed up at her door. They showed up at her door. She said, how did they even know where we lived? They knew that they did not have any of these. And so they wanted to run tests on them and do some questionnaires on them because they don't have any of these. And they live, like, there was a lot of stuff where I was like, this is weird. Like, anybody who thinks that they don't know stuff, like I know they could take me out anytime they wanted. You know, I mean, they just come up here to these windows and laser through or whatever. You know, they know where we are. Like, I mean, when I had the Secret Service shop, it was like, it wasn't like it was a challenge. They knew right how to find me. And Twitter, I didn't put my address on there. So they, you know, I don't know if it's all through IP addresses or what. I don't know. But why would these people be out there going around asking? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that are just really, really weird. Like, I think that's one. I found that concerning, that these people, I don't know, I'm suspicious of those things being parked out there. I think people need to notice that more, and more with the train track stuff, that they're putting derailleurs on the tracks, and people keep finding them. And the now it coming out, like, the train companies were planning on us just, you know, using our taxes, and we would fix this stuff. It's probably a part of the infrastructure stuff, but it's all just this money laundering. It's all these things are to show us the corruption that we've been living with, everything. And so, you know, all this corruption is going to keep coming and coming and coming. And, you know, there's going to be people who have been working in the corruption, and they're going to be being exposed. And, you know, this is the part where people have to see, like, what they did for a paycheck, what they did to pay their bills. And they're going to have to face that dark side of themselves. And in a lot of cases, there will be, won't be a private matter. It's going to be a lot of people are going to see. There's going to be a lot, I think, medical is going to be a rough one in certain communities. Because the people are going to know, you know, some of these nurses, some of these doctors, some of these workers, and why weren't you telling the truth? What were you hiding? Why did you keep working? Why weren't you, you know, there's going to be a lot. And the people who did those things, they're going to have to forgive themselves for not seeing, forgive themselves for being more desperate to get a paycheck, forgive themselves for, you know, whatever the case may be. There's just going to be so much healing, and people don't realize, just as this person is so focused on their own trauma, their own healing, that they can't even acknowledge, especially the person who traumatized you, that they were coming from a trauma position themselves. So there's so much that has to be healed. And all I can say is to any of the people who are out there who are, you know, their trauma and stuff is coming up, and they're facing themselves, they're facing these dark things, you know, just don't lash out. Don't blame others. There is no empowerment in blame. There is only victimization. And everything you want to do right now is to claim your sovereignty, claim your empowerment, empower yourself. You know, it's like when I'm hearing this girl, you know, yelling, I'm like, 8 years, you had 8 years to make some different choices, to do, and, you know, she could have been deep in her addiction and just a real burden to her mom, and she's not even recognizing, like, the stuff that she's done to traumatize this already abused person who isn't even willing to try and heal, because they don't even know that that is a possibility. They just think life's just out to get. There's so many old people they're just waiting on Jesus. They're just waiting on getting the hell out of here. They are so beat down. When I talk to my mom, she can't even imagine. I mean, this is where she thinks I sound crazy when I keep saying things are about to change. We're about to have heaven on earth. No. I'm going to be leaving here soon. The rapture is about to happen. And I hope that you get what you're looking for. But, they can't see. They just want out. They just want that fairy tale. They just want to go up and sing at the feet of Jesus and get the hell out of this place. And, and they grew up, you respected elders, you respected older people, and then they grew up to become the elder with no respect. Nobody will even, they talk down to them. They treat them like they're garbage. That's not how these people were raised. I was raised to be respectful to older people. So, I don't know what happened where all of a sudden it's like disrespect the older people. Older people are the problem. Get rid of the older people. I mean, they've been killing them. Even in New York when he killed so many at once. So, you'd think, like, you kill like 3 kids, it's outrage. You kill like 1,000 old people. It's like, they're old. It's like, God, people don't realize their own judgment and stuff. I just saw a woman the other day. She's 100 and something years old. And they put a movie out about her, and she's going to be used as, she was friends with Gloria Steinem, and her message is to all girls, you don't even need a man. I could have done all those by myself. And so, but what is really cool about her is, like, she's over 100 years old, and she at 85 became a park ranger. And age is just there to limit you. It's how you look at age and how you look at life, and it also is your relationship with life. If life feels like a burden, you feel like a victim, then life is hard. When you move yourself into a position of empowerment, life becomes less challenging. I'm not going to say it's easy, because there's still things, but you just, you don't sit around waiting for someone else to fix it. You take your own power back. And so you taking your power back is, it feels good to feel empowered, to realize that you have the power to make decisions for yourself, to do what you want to do. And if you hurt someone's feelings by doing what you want to do, that's their stuff to work out. It's very different than going and attacking someone and calling them names and saying mean things to them. Then you are the bully. And so I think I'm twisting. There's something I keep trying to catch on man, I can't see it. Kept going in and going in and going in. And I feel like I'm just like all over the place on some of this stuff. But I see things. So I just see things. And, I wish I could just make it more clear so that people could see what I see. So that then, I think, I don't know. I just feel like if somebody could look at that and see themselves as a bully, it would make them step back and, look at things differently. And that's the part where I'm saying be mindful, and this healing it's going to be rocky because so many people are so misguided. It is definitely not become the bully is not healing. Jesus didn't go around smacking everybody down. No, if you're going to follow that path to enlightenment, it is, love thy neighbor, be kind. And, it is very much of, like there's an eye for an eye, but you have to also realize that there is, that a lot of people have just become mean and bitter because of their own pain. And so they're putting that out there, this mean, bitter side of themselves instead of the soft, loving, compassionate side. So if you're putting out this angry, bitter, victim part of yourself, that is, you still have things that you are hiding from, that you're not healing. And even when people think that they've healed so much, that is one thing, so much. where people think like, well, I've healed, I've been doing my healing for years, and then something else comes up and it will come out of the blue, and they won't see it coming, and they'll feel like, like, have I even healed anything? Where am I? Like, how do I keep getting set back? It is each thing you have to heal something to get ready for the next thing. So there's always going to be something else that is coming, but it gets easier to heal this stuff. But you have to be able to see it, and there's things that you have to heal to be able to see. And so this is one of those things you have to begin to realize, like in your healing, when you're becoming the bully, that isn't the direction you want to go. You want to get to a place where you feel good about yourself. You're never going to feel good about yourself if you're being mean, even if you feel like this person deserves it. Because in your heart, in your soul knows that nobody deserves to be treated badly. Everybody is trying to learn and grow. And I don't know, it's just, we've got to have more compassion for each other. We got to stop making it someone else's problem and just really work on yourself and really just think about what it is you want to put out into the world. And then work from there. If you want to put out love and compassion and stuff, then work on getting yourself there. And when you have some kind of instance that promotes or provokes these feelings in you, then, be mindful. Walk yourself through it. Like, I have so many conversations with my guides all day long where they'll walk me through things, and they don't judge me. Like, I could do something, and they'll let me catch myself doing it. And then they will say, see, like, and they'll show me. And so, just be more mindful. It is a big difference from becoming reactive, and to just slow it down and just start seeing like, okay, well, I could react. I could go in and, be an asshole right back. But what is that going to do? We're going to out-asshole each other all day? No, let's do something different. Let's try something different. And, compassion. And, when you see somebody who is just lashing out at you, and, it's, like, who cares? Whatever you did, you don't deserve to fucking be belittled and be treated like that. And so, if you turned around to the person and say, you sound like you're in so much pain. We should talk about what it is that is bringing so much of this up in you. I'm here. If you want to talk, let's talk about it. I've been working on myself, and I'm not here to judge you. But if you want to talk, I'm here to listen. We can really change the world through love, through compassion. People have got to stop thinking that every bad feeling that they have is coming because this other person is creating it. No, it's all inside of you. It all wants to be released. The people who are bringing it up in you, that's what they're supposed to do. It's, what do you do with it then? Because that's going to come back on you. So anyways, I've been talking and talking. But, if she does go in and listen to this, I was just, this is the stuff I talk about. Like, I know a lot of people, like, they don't know what I talk about, but I talk about healing. I talk about spiritual. I talk about life being different than what people understand. And so, and to me, that is waking up to who you are in this world and what this world is. And it's so different than what most people think. And so, if she comes in and she sees this and she's offended and angry and upset, then that's her process. But, hopefully she will start seeing that, she's reactive, she's angry, she's the bully. And, if she wants to fix this relationship, which maybe she doesn't. There's a lot of people who don't want to fix relationships with their family. And as far as I'm concerned, your family is the ones that are there to teach you. So, yeah, there's going to be some difficult relationships. And it's up to you, though. Everything in life is up to you. It's up to you. And a lot of people You know, they'll waste their time and then they'll see it in the life review. And every single life is the challenge of, you know, what you do with it. What do you do with your life? So anyways, I will talk to you later. I think I'm so hopeful that today is finally something's going to go on. It's going to be so disappointing if we go all day and there's no thing where everything goes off and they start telling us to get home and all of that stuff. We have to go through a whole nother week of just threats and, well, Kenya says this, well, Nigeria says this, well, China says this, and be prepared, we will be, and then we have to go all the way to next Friday, like, oh my Lord. But, you know, if that goes down, then I'm going to be like, well, next Friday I get paid, so maybe I will be able to go and get some more stuff. Like, I don't know, I just wish this shit would hurry up and get over with so we can get to the next part. So, anyways, we're all in this together, so we'll just see how it plays out. It's got to play out the way it's going to play out. We certainly don't have control over destiny. So, anyways, you know, just stay strong and stay just mindful. Just try looking at things from other perspectives. Don't get so stuck on your own perspective, being the only one. Try and see things through other people's eyes. And try and understand that a lot of people are in pain and just trying to cover it up. So, you know, don't bully people who are in pain. And I will talk to you later.